Every day, somewhere in the world, someone buys a P&G product. Toothpaste, detergent, diapers, shampoo, razors. Over 5 billion consumers in nearly 180 countries. That level of reach doesn't happen by accident. It happens because Procter & Gamble didn't just build a supply chain, it turned supply chains into a science. This is the story of how P&G transformed planning, forecasting, and execution into one of the most advanced operational systems in business history, and why so much of what we call modern supply chain management started here. Purchasing, manufacturing, distribution, but not end-to-end supply chains. P&G was one of the first companies to see the whole system. Why? Because consumer goods are unforgiving. Low margins, massive volumes, highly volatile demand, retailer power. P&G realized early that intuition would not scale. Most companies guessed demand. P&G measured it. Decades before AI and big data, P&G invested in statistical forecasting, time series models, demand variability analysis. P&G didn't ask, what do we think will sell? What does the data say? And how uncertain is it? This allowed P&G to plan inventory scientifically, segment products by volatility, allocate safety stock rationally. Forecasting wasn't an estimate. It was a discipline. In the 1990s, P&G faced a crisis. Retailers held massive power. Promotions distorted demand. Inventory was everywhere, except where it was needed. So P&G did something radical. It shared data. P&G pioneered collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment, CPFR, with retailers like Walmart. Instead of fighting forecasts, they shared POS data, planned promotions together, aligned replenishment schedules. This reduced stockouts, excess inventory. CPFR didn't just help P&G. It rewrote how manufacturers and retailers work together. P&G factories are not built for heroics. They are built for repeatability. Key principles: high automation, tight process control, standardized lines, minimal variation. Why? Because variability explodes cost. P&G designs factories to produce fewer SKUs per line, run longer, stable campaigns, deliver predictable output. This allows planning systems to actually work. Forecasting without stable execution is fiction. P&G understood that early. It calculates it. Using service-level targets, lead time variability, demand volatility, multi-echelon models at the right node, in the right quantity, for the right risk. This is why P&G rarely panics during disruptions. Buffers aren't mistakes. They're deliberate design choices. As complexity increased, P&G centralized visibility. Enter the supply chain control tower. These systems monitor global flows in real time, detect exceptions early, trigger corrective actions, coordinate across regions. Control towers didn't replace planners. They amplified them. Decisions moved from reactive to proactive, from firefighting to orchestration. P&G's greatest investment wasn't software. It was people. P&G built formal supply chain career paths, deep training programs, analytical skill development, cross-functional rotations. Supply chain leaders at P&G often become CEOs, COOs, industry thought leaders. Why? Because running a P&G supply chain teaches you how to manage complex systems under uncertainty. In a world obsessed with speed and disruption, P&G offers a different lesson. Science beats heroics. While others react, P&G plans. While others chase tools, P&G builds capability. While others optimize locally, P&G designs systems. That's why so many supply chain best practices trace back to one company. Procter & Gamble didn't invent supply chains, but it turned them into a science, measurable, teachable, repeatable. And in doing so, it shaped how the modern world plans, produces, and delivers everyday goods. P&G isn't flashy, and that's why Procter & Gamble is a supply chain legend.